I'm Shania, 24-year-old freelance artist from Germany, and in this video I will take you along on my very first road trip through Europe. Hi again. First of all, thanks for tuning in. I have to admit right away that I filmed these clips very on the go, because this was my little time. But I think I did a decent job explaining everything, and I even put a little bit of history and facts here and there, so I hope you'll enjoy. But let's start from the very beginning. And that is in Berlin. I had my very first exhibition at the end of April, and to get my paintings there I already had to do a little mini road trip. I come from Aachen, that is near the Netherlands, and Berlin, if you know, is right on the other side of Germany, near Poland. Having Berlin right at the start of my trip definitely toughened me up. I had a little bit of time pressure to get there, so my first long drive experience was an 8-hour drive across Germany straight to the capital. The combination of very narrow, confusing streets, bus and tram tracks left me so confused that I had like 6 to 7 near-death experiences in one day. Unfortunately, I didn't film anything of this. I was way too stressed, but I can report that everything after that was way more relaxed. Maybe it was the lack of experience in the beginning, the amount of construction sites, or it was just Berlin. But after that, it was pretty fine. I drove in Prague, Dresden, Vienna, Zagreb, Dubrovnik, and some other big cities without major problems. Let's say it like that. And for all of you out there who are also a little bit intimidated by the very old and narrow European cities, Geza, a girl who did the exhibition with me, and a friend of mine, she gave me a very good tip as someone who lives in Berlin and drives in Berlin. Stay calm and take your time. You might annoy other drivers if you're slow, but you know what's even more annoying? An accident. So, but where did the road trip end? I booked a beautiful little apartment with a large balcony in Podstrana, Split. That is in Croatia. From Berlin, it's a 14-hour drive all the way down till here. Something I would have never managed to do in one go. And even if I were capable of doing that. What's the fun of a road trip if you don't take a little look around here and there? Europe is so beautiful, and at the end of the day, pretty small. As a European, it's so easy to get everywhere that sometimes you just forget. Oh, it's just a 3-hour drive. Oh, just a 2-hour flight. Maybe next year. I've said that multiple times to myself. But since I turned 18, I only visited one other country except from Germany, the Netherlands and Belgium, and those 3 don't count because I basically live in all 3 of them. I live right on the corner of the 3 countries. This time I just wanted to be a happy little tourist and see everything I should already have seen by now. So I divided my trip into 4 routes, and we would have thought it's perfectly separable with nice cities in the middle and 4-hour drives in between. A 4-hour drive was perfect for me, with a little stop right in the middle after 2 hours, because afterwards my shoulders started hurting, I got a little tired, and I still have a lot of the day left as soon as I arrive at my destination. My first drive took me to Prague with a short stop in Dresden. My dad saw that I was driving by and recommended a short break there, because in his opinion, it's very beautiful, and I really have to agree. The Baroque and neoclassical architecture is breathtaking, and I'm just always so impressed to see buildings like the Frankenkirche, who were destroyed in World War II but restored 1-to-1. You can't even see a difference, or it looks so authentic. Moreover, it's located at the Elbe River, and old cities by a river just have such a magical feel to it. It looks always so painted and artsy too. So if you ever want to visit Germany, I can really recommend Dresden. But well, I only was there for a few hours, had a little snack, and from there went straight to Prague. In total, I only had a few hours in each city. Usually I arrived around noon, and I spent the afternoon and evening just wandering around before I fell into bed around 11 p.m. Honestly, I barely did any research before I went to the cities. I didn't want to stress myself that I needed to see this, this, and this, and this in the short amount of time I only had. If something nice crossed my path, I informed myself afterwards or while being there. That's, for example, how I discovered, I'm sorry for all my Czech people out there, the Pražský orloj. It's the astronomical clock on the town hall. The clock was installed in the 1410s and is one of the oldest functioning astronomical clocks in the world. It not only shows the time but also astronomical information, like the position of the sun and moon, moon phases, and various calendar details. Every hour between 9 a.m. and 11 p.m., the 12 apostles parade through 2 small windows above the clock. The clock master, Hanus, who created the Prague astronomical clock in the 15th century, was allegedly blinded by the city fathers, so he couldn't build a similar clock elsewhere. In revenge, Hanus supposedly tampered with the clock, causing it to stop for many years. Some claim he grabbed into the clockworks, others say he jumped into it. This dramatic story, however, is historically unverified. I also spent an absurdly amount of time looking at matryoshkas and convincing myself I don't need any, which I kind of regret now looking back at the footage. Oh, and I had ice cream. These bread-like cones with the ice cream inside were literally in every street corner, so I had to try it. Honestly, 4 out of 10. It's 9:50, I just checked out at my hotel in Prague, and next stop is Vienna. I really hope to see Klimt's The Kiss at the museum, but I didn't book any tickets, so we'll see. Till now, the trip is going pretty fine. I haven't had any problems yet, except for in Berlin itself. We'll see. And 4 hours later, I arrived in Vienna. I had a hotel pretty central in the city and can honestly say that the drive was pretty relaxing. The only thing I want to point out here are the toll roads. Often there's a small stop where you have to pay, but sometimes you need to register your license plate online and pay online. I didn't know that. So this drive costed me an extra 120 euros. Another quick tip for you guys, by the way. I think it's obvious, but it almost slipped my mind. Make sure to book hotels with a parking spot. Survived. This is pretty cute. Preferably even covered parking. I had a lot of valuables with me and didn't want to haul everything into the hotel just for one night. And leaving it all in the car on the street? No way. Additionally to that, hotel parking is sometimes free, but for sure cheaper than public parking in the city. I spent the afternoon and evening just wandering around. Vienna is very cozy despite the fact that around every corner there seems to be a huge, imposing building. The buildings are in beautiful condition, there are trees and flowers everywhere, and the streets are slightly narrow, which makes it feel like it's hugging you. It just all felt very warm and welcoming. However, I didn't get tickets for that day for the museum anymore, but I got some for the next day, so I checked out a little bit earlier the next morning and drove to the Belvedere. Made it to the palace. And I drove through Vienna and I haven't hit anyone. I was a little bit too early though, so I tried to find a spot to have a little breakfast, but everything was closed. It was the 1st of May, and in Germany that's holiday, so I guess in Austria it is too. The only place where I could find food was in the fanciest hotel. I just went in, sat down and got food and paid. I don't know if it's allowed, but if you actively belong there, no one will question you. That's sweet. The museum houses one of the most important collections of Austrian art. Additionally to that, from the upper Belvedere you have an impressive view over all of downtown Vienna. I also really like the gardens. They are designed in a very French style, with symmetrical flower beds, fountains and sculptures. And I was there in May. I can't imagine how beautiful it will be when all the flowers are blooming. I came for Gustav Klimt's The Kiss, but I got to see many other wonderful works. Look, an axolotl, so cute! And this painting, the brushwork and the shimmering varnish really mesmerized me. And then there were Klimt's flower paintings, so beautiful. I love how chaotic yet peaceful and harmonious they feel. It's really inspiring to me. And I also really appreciated seeing some unfinished paintings of Klimt himself. It's really interesting to see how a master approaches his work. He draws straight with graphite on canvas, very rough, sometimes even just very vague shapes. Ah, so cool. And then there it was, The Kiss. When I was younger, I already visited this place and I saw this painting. But back then I wasn't really interested in art. So I just walked past it like an idiot. But this day I redeemed myself. I asked someone to take a photo of me and I think my face says it all. What I love so much about this painting is how the lovers blend into each other. You can hardly distinguish them apart from the shapes on their clothing. The man has very straight, tactical and structured squares, while the woman wears very romantic, soft and round shapes. And then there's the background. I personally love to draw like little lights in my art, and this feels like that. It just looks so magical. And then of course the flowers, the ground, the chaos and harmony. So beautiful. The painting Judith also really blew me away. It depicts the biblical story of Judith, who, to save her people, got Holofernes drunk and chopped his head off. But Klimt didn't want to show any aggression or masculinity in the painting. He really wanted to focus on the woman and her fierce face, pushing Holofernes' face all the way to the side that you really need a second look before you even notice it. She is the main focus, she is the protagonist of this piece and not him. The next stop was Zagreb. Since I spent most of the day in Vienna, I arrived pretty late in Zagreb, so I just fell into bed and spent only a few hours the next morning wandering through the city. And maybe that contributed to the fact that I think it was the least interesting city.
Okay, so I arrived in Zagreb. It's the capital city of Croatia. Because I thought if I'm already going to Croatia, I should also look at the capital city. So now, I don't know. But I'm heading to a cat cafe, so everything will be fine. Hello, Amadeus. Thank you.
When I look online, I find many beautiful pictures, and since I just wandered around without a real destination, maybe I just overlooked it, maybe I just wandered past it, I don't know. It's probably on me. But sadly, mostly where I was, it looked a little bit run down. And from Zagreb I went to Split, my final destination. The place where I am right now recording this video. Split is the second largest city in Croatia. And what I really love about it is the historical old town with its maze of narrow streets and charming squares. It really offers a unique mix of Roman, medieval and modern structures. I arrived late in the evening. Honestly, a frozen pizza never tasted that good. And yeah, overall the trip was pretty fun, pretty good. But it was also a little bit exhausting. I'm really happy I only had those 4 stops. I think every additional stop after this I wouldn't have enjoyed as much because I was just so tired and exhausted. I'm also more of a night owl, but the last week I had to wake up very early and I fell into bed by like 10 or 11 p.m. Otherwise, I'm very happy and also very proud of my achievement. I'm truly the absolute stereotype of a woman that can't drive. I usually even get nervous if I have to drive to my local supermarket. At the end of the day, I just realized something that was logical to me, but still needed to prove itself, that roads are made to be driven on, to be understood by everyone. And as long as you stay calm, honestly, nothing really bad can happen. Anyways, my next video will be about my stay in Split, about my life here in general. I'm also just working here, like you can see. I'm making videos, I'm painting, so it will also be a little bit artsy, a little bit behind the scenes. See? yeah, that video will come in 2 weeks. So if you don't want to miss it, consider subscribing, and otherwise I wish you all a very happy rest of your day. Thanks for watching. I'm Shania and I mainly vlog about my life, my small business, travels and art. Stay healthy and creative.